We're having so much fun today with Combs because we've made this video 3 or 4 times and we just can't get our logistics together. We're having a blast. Is that right, Combs?
Dude, greatest day of my entire life.
Yes.
Right now.
All right. We're going to talk about Captain Marvel. We're going to talk about Minerva. We're going to talk about Ronin. We're going to talk about War Machine orbs and the Minerva orbs. We're going to talk about Magneto rework in this video today. A recap of all the awesome things that happened this week. Are you excited about Captain Marvel? Are you excited about the movie?
Yes, I'm excited about all of it. I don't know how the movie's going to be, but I'm excited. I love Marvel movies, so who's not excited? Yeah.
Yeah, Marvel movies are pretty consistent as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I like Black Panther a lot. I think Infinity War was probably one of the best movies I've seen since The Dark Knight and Batman and all that stuff. But we're going to talk about Captain Marvel, the character. What is the first thing you noticed when you saw the Captain Marvel character?
The Kree tag, which I did not expect, but then also the military tag.
Right.
Because that's new. So that's exciting.
Yeah, so we got this new military tag, and so it looks like Captain Marvel will have synergies with Kree, and we're going to go at length and talk about Minerva and Ronin and the Kree rework, and I'm just going to put this out there right now. The best Kree team might be with Captain Marvel, but nobody knows, right?
That's true. We have no idea because we can't play her yet, but on paper.
On paper, she looks pretty amazing. Now, talk about this military tag. This is a little bit confusing to me because it doesn't have like Punisher in there, but it does have like War Machine and Winter Soldier and Captain America. That looks like a pretty solid team in itself right there. You just add Iron Man, you're good to go.
Yeah, for sure. And so as far as that team goes, you could swap out Winter Soldier and maybe put in, like, if you had Iron Man, you could put in like Vision or Black Widow or something. It'd probably be a pretty good team. I don't know if it'd be good for it'd be good for Blitz for sure. So that's what I think. But I know that with Captain Marvel, she gives boosts to military characters. I think that's 15% health and then 10% damage. So that's pretty good. It would help. It's like you were saying earlier, it's like a mini ability, and it's just a passive. So that's pretty cool.
And it looks like her binary ability is directly tied to the military. It says, if at least one ally is military, gain additional charge. And I'm just going to put that out there. That mechanic is very important, having that charge. So it looks like she probably always have to be ran with at least one military. So she may not be optimal with Kree. And we're going to talk about the binary ability and how the charge mechanic works. First, talk me through the special right here, the ultimate binary. How does that work?
So it's almost like that's a separate form, or really just like I guess you could even say like a buff that cannot be dispelled. And so she's going to, obviously you can read it, she's going to clear the negative side effects and then attack for a huge number, 540% damage, can't be dodged, but also can't critically hit. So that's crazy. It goes up to 640% if you put the orange mats on it. That's big. That's big damage. I think the biggest attack currently in the game, because I went over these numbers one time, is 650 with Wolverine. So that's pretty big. And I know that like she gets extra stat boost, 25% damage, 25% armor, 100% focus and resistance. And then while she has binary, she will do like an AoE for 120% damage.
And what you really need to know about this ability is that she gets a mohawk. That is the main thing. She goes from Princess Sparkles or something like that. I don't know what they call it. Princess Sparkle Fist to Mohawk Girl. And it's like Super Saiyan, if you will. And how long that binary lasts depends on the charges, correct?
It does.
Okay. So she gains charge when that happens. But then if she takes her next turn, and let's just look at Warbird, because you actually do have an opportunity to do Warbird turn 1 instead of binary, which was attack primary damage for 360% damage, clear all positive effects. That's pretty decent right there. And that does bump up to 450. If not in binary, gain 1 charge, which extends how long the binary would last. If in binary, lose charge on losing all charge in binary. So how long binary lasts is going to depend on 2 things, on when you do binary and whether or not there is a military on your team. What do you think that's going to do? Like what I'm thinking is going to happen is if in turn 1, you're playing up against Drax, right? And you need to get rid of the taunt or something like that. You're going to want to do this middle ability anyways, right?
Right. Yeah. So that way you can just clear that and get on your way, beating everybody else up. It seems great. Seems great.
Yeah. And then her basic attack is pretty basic, if you will. There's not much to it, right? Tag primary target, 50% chance to chain. Same thing. If not in binary, gain 1 charge, up to a maximum of 5. If in binary, lose 1 charge. On losing all charge, in binary. So you, in theory, could get your charged up to 5, go into binary, and then you'll be in binary for 5 turns. This end of a turn attack, all enemies for 120%. That does go up to 150 with the orange mats. Seems pretty amazing overall, and it looks like she does have some sustainability for in the raids. On turn heal self for 20% of max health, and it's 10% without the orange mats. What do you think? What do you think about this character? What's your overall feeling?
Overall feeling is excited because it seems like she'll work with military, she'll work with Kree, and honestly, if you had to, she could probably work anywhere by herself. So
yeah,
it's exciting.
the only thing I'm worried about, it looks like we're kind of forced into military. I'm wondering how this is going to work with Kree, although the synergies with Kree, which we're going to talk about next, is pretty amazing. Now, we're going to talk about Kree in 2 different contexts, one in the raid and the other in Blitz. What is your feeling about Kree right now inside of the Blitz?
Right now they seem like they're very good. So if you look at it like with a tiered approach, like so you have Brotherhood in the top, then you have Shield right below them as far as a single team battle goes. Then below that you have probably I would say Guardians and then Defenders. Those are really close. But then I would say that like I think Kree are also equally like as close there, if not maybe like equal with Defenders at this point because they have a lot of healing and damage and. You know, you were showing me footage earlier of Kree Reaper, and maybe we'll see it, but having a critical hit for like 60,000 damage or something, like that's insane. I was
getting a 25,000 Kree Reaper to hit for 65,000 sometimes. Right there in the footage only showed 31,000, but at times it was hitting for like 65,000, which is crazy. I don't know if they're as good as Defenders, but they do seem really good, right?
Yeah. So maybe more on that, like just like right below them tier wise. They seem better than, you know, they're better than the other minion teams like Hand or, you know, Hydra, of course, you know, any of those ones, but they seem just good. The rework seems good. It seems useful, and it's definitely a viable Blitz team. And we'll see how that plays out. I know I've heard some stories about them doing well and, you know, 8.3 in the Blitz or 8-3. So, I think it's good. That's nice. It's just another team that a lot of people have built up because everybody's going for Nick Fury. So it makes it better that you're going for Nick Fury and you don't get a completely useless team. You get a pretty, like, not the greatest team, but a pretty decent team to kind of go with it.
Yeah, and I just want to say this. It seems like there's a logical path to start this game off with. I think, you know, you're first starting the game off, just go all Defenders. Defenders is a solid team, great in their raids, okay in Blitz, okay in the arena. Definitely better, you know, high value, right?
Yeah.
And 100%. Then the best team right now, in my opinion, is Shield with Nick Fury as far as well-roundedness in the arena and in the raids. And it's only second to Brotherhood in the arena. But the annoying thing for all these months, for the last 6 months we had Nick Fury, is that you have to use 5 Kree minions, which were trash up until now. And so now there's just like a very logical path to get Shield. You're going to get Defenders, then you're going to go Kree minions, which are actually useful now. Usable, right? Not horrible. And then you're going to get Nick Fury eventually. So it seems like a very progression that's logical, you know, if you're building up your account and doing that. And I very much like that. Now, let's talk about Minerva and Thanos. Video up here in the top right-hand corner, link to it if you want to check it out. And there was an interaction that a lot of people overlooked with Kree Oracle, because on paper, Kree Oracle is terrible, right?
Yeah, he's the worst.
He is the worst, right? And so the interaction that was kind of ignored is that Kree Oracle's passive doesn't specify Kree necessarily. Whenever they gain energy, gains healing. And so Thanos in the raids gives out tons of energy, which also fuels Ronin and Kree. And so there's just this like amazing raid team made up of Kree Royal Guard, Ronin, Thanos, Minerva, of course, because she's just built for raids solely. Right. And then the Oracle, I tested it out. I was thoroughly impressed. The team has amazing survivability. It was going into Ultima 6 inside of the raid, and it was hanging with my normal raid team, which has a total power of 215,000, and this team right here had a power of 148, and it was doing just fine. I was able to get through all the matches that I went through with full health. They said that in their video that it was going to be really good in the raids, or you'll be able to take the raids. I mean, so far they're not wrong. Are you excited about Minerva?
Yeah, I'm really excited. The campaign is interesting, but I don't know. I'm excited to get her, and we'll see. I haven't had a chance to play with her yet. I didn't buy her, so we'll see.
Yeah, I did buy her because I'm that guy, unfortunately. I do want to gripe a little bit about Magneto and War Machine, and the War Machine orbs and the future Minerva orbs. There's going to be a campaign event here in a couple days to start Minerva, and the frustration I had with these orbs in general is that you do a node and you get a random number of orb fragments, and then once you get an orb, you get a random number of shards, and now you're going to get a random character. That is really annoying.
Yeah. I had really found that to be annoying in the War Machine, especially because it was giving shards of characters that I had them all maxed out on already.
Yeah, like Ant-Man. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like pointless. But I'm hoping now, obviously there's the risk because Oracle and Royal Guard are in shops. When we open these orbs, it's most likely going to be characters that we already have. But on the off chance that say I get some Noble or I get, whatever, any of those ones that I'm farming for Nick Fury, I don't hate it. But I also don't love it because if I'm supposed to be getting stuff for Minerva, I want stuff for Minerva. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't put that in there.
It makes it really hard to get Minerva where there's pretty much access to the other characters. I guess I'll take the shards if they're going to give it to me, but right. I don't like just getting duplicates and having that going towards Ultimus, which is still somewhat of a novelty character. And then let's wrap up the video by talking about Magneto. And my gripe with Magneto is that the Magneto event has come the second time around, and there's still not a farmable path to get Magneto. Pyro is added to the orbs, but Sabretooth and Pyro are nearly impossible to acquire. I hate that. So I was planning on getting Magneto the second time around, but it's basically still, you just have to buy him. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's just kind of crazy. I don't know, maybe not crazy, just very, I guess, they're focused on money. And they're a company and they have to make money. But it's just kind of weird because it should be farmable that we can get Pyro or Sabretooth. There should be enough. Maybe one of them stays behind a paywall. But we should be able to get enough to be able to get Magneto and to be able to farm them. So to me, it's kind of weird because they said, the first time around, you're going to have to pay to get him. Second time around, free-to-play players will be able to get him. Yeah. But it's for me to get him the second time around, I would not have, but I happen to have a $25 gift card. And so I put that gift card towards his $30 pack for 50 shards to be able to push me over the edge, and that's Pyro. And if I hadn't happened to have that gift card, then I also would not have him second time around. And having to drop $30 on a pack, that's not something people are going to do, that if they don't spend, they're not going to do it. So,
right.
I don't know. It seems weird. I know they said that everything was going to be more farmable, but it hasn't yet. So maybe they have plans for that. And maybe it's right around the corner.
Maybe it'll be the third time around. We'll only hope. But right now, it's not the way it is. Now, they did 2 fixes, and actually to Magneto, and this is the second series of revision to make the Brotherhood amazing. They did to Juggernaut, right? They made him basically have insane resistance when he went into that mode, so you couldn't flip all of his buffs with something as simple as Doctor Strange. Is that right?
Right. And I like that because it would get flipped really easily with Doctor Strange, and then he would be dead weight on the team.
Yeah, don't try to clear those positive effects on Juggernaut. You're wasting your time. He's kind of like Thanos at this point when Thanos has the taunt. But the passive on Magneto now, the passives on the leaders is kind of like an important ability to go with the orange mats. Did you do this one? Because it says double the max health granted to Brotherhood allies and Magneto's passive. I guess Pyro is pretty squishy, right?
Yeah, Pyro is really squishy in my opinion, and an extra 15% is not a huge boost, but it made a difference for me. I felt like when I was fighting people, like there was always a consistent point in which my Pyro would get knocked out of the battle. But then now that I've been like testing it a little bit since they made this change, I've noticed that like, yeah, he's still at really low health, but he doesn't get knocked out of the battle and he can get some extra burns and stuff off.
Right.
And it's subtle, but it makes a difference. I'm happy they did it.
So Brotherhood is just the absolute best single battle. We're talking about Arena and Blitz. Pretty much can hit this on autoplay on most team. I imagine in Blitz would be my guess, and you just win. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I do. Now, granted, if you're like facing certain teams with like high resistance, like another Juggernaut or like a Thanos or something, Jessica Jones, like you have to be a little careful because Magneto's pull doesn't always get them because they can resist it, especially with Jessica Jones. So defenders, you got to be a little more careful with.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, you can just toss on auto and win.
And then there was a change to the bug. I guess it was a bug in the poll where it wouldn't get the outer spaces, so it'd leave people on the edges. Is that correct? And now it pretty much sucks the whole team into the middle. Is that the way it works now?
Yeah, so it was like, and this was my understanding, is that characters can still resist it, like if they have really high resistance, I believe. Actually, ever since this patch, or I guess this patch went in, I haven't seen anybody resist it, so maybe that's what they were changing. But specifically what I did notice is that like when it's like bigger teams, it seems to pull more people in consistently.
Okay. So if there's like 10 people on the field, because that is the max is 10 on the board. And it's kind of a zigzag. They made it not look like it, but it's basically 2 rows and they zigzag. And so a total of 10 is the maximum amount of spaces. When the battle starts off, it's only 5, and then they fill in the gaps in between the 5. Oh, boy. I just said that, but I don't think I can explain it without showing it. But anyways, let's wrap up the video, right?
All right.
All right, well, now it's time for the giveaway. And this is a confusing giveaway, and I don't even know what it is I'm giving away. We're giving away an 8-star something. Are you ready, Combs?
I'm ready for the people to see it.
Okay.
That's what I'm ready for.
I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star Spider-Man and Marvel. I don't know what to think about this picture right here or if it's been photoshopped, but I did notice that someone went to some extra work and swapping things around here. What do you think about this perfectly balanced, like the swap right there? What are your thoughts on that?
I have my concerns personally.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a great giveaway though, right? Photoshop stuff, right? It's always good. Memes are always good. All right.
Yeah.
Be sure to go ahead and check out Combs' channel. We did a different video, entirely different over there, talking about different stuff. Actually, we got more detailed into the Kree rework. So check out Combs' channel. There is a link in the description. All right, guys. Thanks for watching and keep on gaming.